So what we're doing here is we're going to do the residual income valuation methodology for if you have a price to book exit value for this thing. Okay. Now, as we said before, so Noodle, okay, let's just go through the example quickly. So Noodle Incorporated expects their ROE to be 12% per annum over the next 3 years. Current book value is $6 per share. No dividends are paid and all earnings are reinvested. That just makes the example super easy because you don't have to deduct that earnings, that dividends from the book value. Okay. Quiet rate of return on equity is 8%. Thank you, you've got that now as well. Calculate intrinsic value of Noodle Incorporated, assuming the ROE falls to a long run average level and the price to book ratio falls to 1.4. 1.4. That is the big kicker in this example. That's why we're doing it now. So first things first, opening book value, $6. ROE is 12%. We multiply the opening book value with the ROE and we get the earnings because net income divided by equity is going to give you the earnings. So we get that amount. Closing book value, 6.72. What is the equity charge? It's going to be the $6 times the 8%. Okay, so let's just see Calc 1 and Calc 2. We've gone through this in the class, but let's just go through it quickly. We had to calculate the opening book values, and that's why I said opening book value plus earnings minus dividends, closing book values, carry forward to the next year. Opening book value plus earnings minus dividends, closing book value, you continue, and you get to whatever you need to get to for the opening book value of the various years. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, how you work out the earnings, opening book value times ROE, we know it's 12%, so those are the EPS numbers for each of the various years. How do we work out the residual income? We have to first work out the capital charge. The capital charge has already been said is 8%. That is not ROE, that's wrong. That is the cost of equity. Okay, so the opening book value times the cost of equity, that gives you the charge that you need to get. Once you have the charge, you take your EPS minus your charge and you get the residual incomes. Okay, that was... We're all here. Well, know that. Okay, perfect. Now the big one is the terminal value, and that's the one that is a little bit more tricky. So once you've worked out this, you get to a closing book value of 8.43. So that's what we worked out there. Okay, so opening book value year 3 plus the earnings, which was 0.9 minus the dividends, which was 0. So we get to 8.43. Now the important thing about this, that is your closing book value in year 3. Okay, they gave you the price to book ratio, which was 1.4. We multiply the closing book value in dollars times the 1.4, so times 1.4, we get to 11.8. But this thing got there for a reason, because it paid out dividends and it grew the residual income and so on. So what you need to do is you need to take off the book value at that point, which was 8.43. Okay, and that'll get you the terminal value. Okay, another way to think about this is that the reason why it's trading at a 1.66 price to book is because it has got positive residual income in the future. Okay, that's a slightly different way to think about it. I don't want to complicate it for you guys. But the main thing is the price to book is not 1 at that stage. It is 1.6. The fact that it's 1.6 means that there's a bit of a persistence factor built into this thing. Okay, and then that's a terminal value as of year 3. Yes. If it was 1, this will be 0. Will it be treated differently? No, it will be 1 times 8.43, which is 8.43 minus 8.43, which is 0. If it's got a price to book of 1 in that year, it means there's no more positive residual incomes into the future, or that's what the market imputes on it. You guys understand that? I mean, it's quite important to understand why it's either positive or negative. Okay, and then once you've done that, then you can start and discount the stuff back. So first things first, you would have all the residual incomes. This, yeah, that's wrong. It should be in year 3. It's not in year 2. Okay, because you calculate it in year 3. And then, so that's, no, because you exited in year 3. So you exited in year 3, and then you discount it back. It's not a T minus 1 thing. Okay, but that is wrong anyway. So definitely wrong in this thing. Okay, but anyway, what I wanted to say was, you've worked out this terminal in year 3, so you discount that back, discount that back, discount that back, and this you discount back by 3 years, and you'll get to the present value of the residual incomes as well as the terminal value. Once you've done all of that lovely stuff, you need to remember to add back the opening book value. Okay, and that's where people always mess up. Is that you need to add that thing back. Okay, this example is wrong. It needs to be, because if you think here, if you think about this, that is the value in year 3. It's the same as the P ratio. The P ratio in year 3 was X, was 15, let's say, and the P ratio or the earnings in year 3 was 1. 15 times 1, that's a value in year 3. You don't have to value it back because it's not a dividend discount model. Yeah. Just say again, why would you like to? Okay. I'm going to give you two reasons. I hope it makes sense. So the first one is it's because when you work out the residual income, when you use the residual income valuation methodology, you have your opening book value that's a start, and you have all the present value of future residual incomes that you discount back. Okay. Now what you've done here, you have all essentially what this does is it says in year 3 you can sell it in the market for that price. That's what it actually says. Okay. Now that is the value above what you've had up until then that you can sell it at. And because your starting point essentially is that you've worked out all the increases in the residual income, and at that point it goes up massively. That additional income you need to, or that additional return you need to be able to work out. That's one way to look at it. Yeah, I would say that. I would say it's residual in the sense that that's what the market infers the present value of the future residual incomes at year 3 will be. Okay.
If they give us the price as it is, and
Yes.
we still subtract the book value in year 3.
You would, but it's if I do that, that'll be very tricky. To give you the share price at that point, you would definitely need to deduct that because this entire thing is driven from book value. Because you add the book value to start, yes, so you would, but you won't deduct the beginning book value. You deduct the value at the end of that year. Okay.
So that W thing, we don't have one in this one.
Okay. Yeah. We have an example like that. Okay.
So you're adding the ROI to year 3.
Yes.
Before you discount it, but will that W actually affect the year 3 ROI?
Not in this example because you exited it at the 1.6, which basically assumes that there is a persistence factor because the price to book was above 1.
So it should only be on the terminal value. You shouldn't add your ROI for that year. The ROI should only be discounted at 1.1.
Just say that again. The
What's that?
persistence factor.
Yeah.
But we don't have one here, do we?
Say we did.
Okay. Yeah.
That only applies to your terminal value.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
your ROI of that year.
Not your RO that year. No.
You're adding the ROI before you discount it. And then on the previous page, you then discount the ROI as well.
Oh, so the example is actually right. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. So okay, I missed that. Sorry. So okay? That's a very good point. Sorry, I missed that. Okay. So what it mean? Okay. So that's the terminal value 3.37. We added this thing, And we assumed in this one that the persistence factor was 0 because we exited the thing. So, okay. And then we did this to get to the terminal value. So we actually did discount it back 1 year. Sorry, I don't see this. I'm too much in a hurry to do. Okay, so that 3.4 is actually correct. So that's actually right. Yes. So actually, sorry guys, I don't prep these notes. I don't go through it before. Um, yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be, yeah, okay, you guys understand what I mean. So 3.67 in year 3 plus because I already added the 0.3 residual income for, and to get to that 3.63, and you take back the other ones. So in that case, yeah, 3.6, thank you for picking that up. That's a very good one. So it's going to be, so you can let that go, 3.6, whatever it was, and you're going to discount that back and that back. Okay, that's actually great, yeah. And you get to the present value of those and add back the opening book value, and you get this up. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so in this example, the persistence factor is 0 because you exited it on the price to book. If you had one, then you would only do it on the terminal value. Yeah. So that's okay. So if you do the persistence factor for RI in year 3, then this is going to fall away and it's going to get to that. And then you add RI in year 2 plus the thing that you determined from the persistence factor, which is the value at year 2 using the year 3 RI, because you did discount it back 1 year. In year 3. In year 3 or year 2? In year 3, you use year 3 to get to the terminal value for year 2.
So you determine the terminal value at 3.6.
Yes.
Why do you add that?
Because you used the ending value in year 3, and it told you that you're going to exit it at the price to book in the end of year 3 using the price to book. You're not if they tell you to exit it as with this formula of the 1 plus R minus W, and you've got a persistence factor in the residual income in year 3, then you're not going to add the year 3 RI. You're going to bring it back to year 2 and add the second year's year 2. Okay. Whether the persistence factor is 1 or 0 depends on the question that they ask. If they're going to ask it from a multiple, they need to exit it. Then you're going to add that year's. When I say exit, you're going to use a price to book or P or whatever. Let's in this case price to book. You're going to exit it at the end of that year's earnings or book value, and then you're going to use that year's, whether it's a dividend or earnings or whatever thing. It's the same concept. You're going to use that third year's thing. If you're going to use it from an exit terminal value and using either a Gordon growth or in this case the persistence factor thing, then what you're going to do is you're going to take the year 3's RI and exit it according to this formula here. It's going to give you the second year thing, and you're going to add the second year's RI. And then you're going to discount those two back by 2 years. And years 1 RI to 1 year. Okay, so that's the residual income one. Last one. Okay, guys, this is a very, very long example, and it's something that don't want to go. It's quite complicated, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because we are basically at the end of the day. But what they would ask you in the exam is that they would ask you these questions like, what is the carried interest, what is the distributor to pick, and all these type of questions. So one thing that you would do, you need to set up these columns to work out all these things. So you're going to have year 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go through this stuff. So you can see what was called down in year 1, 2, and 3. You can see the realized returns in years 1, 2, and 3, etc., etc. You need to read through what they ask. And they say carried interest after committed capital is returned. That's very ambiguous because you don't know if they started to pay back the stuff or whether it's a situation where the entire stuff is paid back. In this example, it seems like just once they start returning, that's when they can start working out the carried interest, and obviously it needs to be above the carried interest or the committed capital. So what we're going to do, what this is okay, so the sum of the committed capital. that usually what the guys will only start. Usually it's to do with how much it's only to get carried interest once you go above either the drew down capital or the total committed capital. If it's a standard thing, it depends on the documents. These things are. Is it that the what the? Yeah, the value. The value of the fund needs to be more than the committed capital. Yeah, because carried interest is a performance fee. It makes sense. You don't want a guy to start charging you lots of money if he just you don't draw down most of the capital. And usually it's like you have to draw down at least 70% before you can start charging performance fees and those type of things. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to work out the sum of the committed capital that you drew down. So that's this year, 50, 70, 75, because you drew down 20 here, drew down 5 here. Okay, realized returns. I assume what the guys did here is that they took the cumulative returns, so 12, 65, 72. Okay, unrealized 317, and there's distributed 005. Okay, what you're going to do, you're going to work out the management fee, and the question that you ask yourself is the management fee the starting or is it the ending? It depends on what the question asks. Only thing I did here for very basic purposes, I said, okay, the committed capital drew down, that's what you're going to work out the management fee on. Usually how it works, you can only work, usually what the guys say that you can work it out is what the ending value of the NAV is at that stage. Or you can only work out the management fee on the beginning value of the NAV of the fund. So what will happen then, 50 times 2% is equal to 1 million. And then what you do, you're going to do this calculation. 50 drew down, 12 is the realized, minus 3 is the unrealized, minus 1, you get to 58. Then what you're going to do, you're going to say, okay, now 58 times 2% is then not equal to that, it's going to equal to less than that. Okay. Then this number, which is, what is that? That's 1,16. Then you're going to say, okay, 58 plus 20, which is the money you drew down, plus 65, and I need to check how that works because I think it's either what they did at that year or whether it's a cumulative number, but let's say it's what they did there because I don't know if it's cumulative or negative. Minus the 1, which is the unrealized, minus 1.16, and that'll give you a value. Let's just work that out quickly. 58 plus 20 plus 65 minus 1 minus 1.16. That'll give you 140.84. And then you carry that forward, 140.84. Add 5. Add 72, which I think is wrong because I think this is cumulative. Plus 7 minus 5, and that'll give you a number as well. 140.88 plus 5 plus 72 plus 7 minus 5, 219. Okay, I think this is actually cumulative. It's not going to be, if it's cumulative, then it'll be 65 minus 12. But anyway, that's the end NAV that you will get. And then according to that, you will work out some of the ratios, whether it's return that you got or anything like that. Now, 219.88. Now, the thing that's important about when you do this is the answers, I'm pretty sure, is going to be quite far apart, A, B, and C. So you can automatically disqualify one of these ratios very, very quickly. And one way to do this is that if you think about, okay, so this question, what is the carried interest in year 3? Okay, and my number is going to be wrong. I know this because I think this is a cumulative number and not a every single year number. Okay, so distributions, okay, it's a call down minus management fee plus the results minus distribution. So they got to 148. I got a completely different number. Okay, so as the NAV is higher than the committed capital of 100, carried interest of 20%, and you work out the carried interest, and then you're going to get to this. Okay, I got a very, very different number, obviously. But once again, the question is a bit unfair because I don't know if this is cumulative or non-cumulative. Okay, and then you're going to answer all these things. So distributed to paid in capital, you know only 5 was distributed out of the 100. And obviously distributed PIK is going to be what you distributed back to the guys divided by the paid in capital. Paid in capital, you know, is 75. 5 divided by 75 is that. I mean, that's a quick answer you can get automatically. Okay, and then, okay, you know, in this answer, that's going to be wrong because they did get carried interest. Okay. Actually, what I would have gotten is going to be 219. Yeah, I would have gotten a way right, wrong number. Okay, and then there's another one. Okay, what's the residual value to paid in capital? You're going to take what's left of it divided by, so what's left in the fund divided by the paid in capital, and then the last one is going to be the total value. So what you paid out plus what you have left in the fund, and that is basically it. Okay.